Hey, shalom everyone. This is Kazak Eliyahu Yasharal, and welcome. Today we are going to be looking at the two beasts of Revelation 13. How can you know the mark of the beast if you do not know the two beasts of Revelation 13? And that's what we are going to be looking at today, because man has erred in this aspect, because we were judging the beast before the time, but now is the consummation of the time when the beast has been revealed to us before our very eyes, but many cannot see it. All right, today we're going to show you the two beasts of Revelation. We're going to let the scriptures prove and show us definitively the two beasts of Revelation 13 so we can understand the mark of the beast. All right. So without knowing the two beasts, you cannot know what the mark of the beast is. Many people have been speculating about the mark of the beast, and some even calling the beast, they call the beast the United States. Some say the beast is the papacy and all of that. But we're going to see what the beast is today, all right? And we are going to start at a very unlikely place. We are going to start at in the book of Zechariah 1 verse 18, which speaks about four horns, four powers. And this is how we're going to know the beast, because these four powers have been prophesied in the end and have been showed to us in Revelation 13. So we are going to trace these four beasts right now. Zechariah 1 verse 18. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, four horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Yehuda, Yasharal, and Jerusalem. And Yahuwah showed me four carpenters. So we have four horns or four powers that have scattered our people. This beast of Revelation is about our people. These are the same nations that have scattered our people for ages, all right? And Yahuwah showed me four carpenters. Then said I, What come these to do? And he spake, saying, These are the horns which have scattered Yehuda. These are the four horns, so that no man did lift up his head. But these four carpenters are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Yehuda, to scatter it. So we are going to trace these four horns. Okay? And in the book of Daniel, it spoke to us about these horns. And Daniel was interpreting the dream of Nebuchadnezzar when he saw an image of gold, silver, brass, and iron. So Daniel told him, Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the Allah of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and splendor. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. So this is what we concern ourselves with first. This is the head of gold, which is Babylon. And wherever Babylon is, all right, he will have power, strength, and splendor. And wherever men dwell, they have been given into the hand of Babylon. That is the head of gold. But we were also told about another inferior kingdom, that was the kingdom of silver, and another, the third kingdom of brass. And what we concern ourselves with is the fourth kingdom, which is the kingdom of Rome. So what we have here, we have Babylon, which is the head of gold. We have Medo-Persia, which is the chest of silver. And then we have the Medo-Persia, which is brass. And then we have the fourth kingdom, which is Rome, the kingdom that is still reigning today. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Rome shall be a dangerous, powerful kingdom. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And this is talking about the hanky-panky, of course, indirectly, that they're going to be doing today. And hanky-panky with the mark of the beast. And it is also telling us that they will join themselves together united in one kingdom, and the kingdom shall be divided, partly strong, partly weak, because it is a new world order. It is a world kingdom that is going to be partly strong, partly weak. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. This is the anky-panky. Mingling themselves with the seed, mingling themselves with the DNA of men. But that is another story going into the mark of the beast there, which we do not want to go into. Let us continue on our journey. So, in Daniel 7, we were given more information about these four beasts. And in Daniel 7, it says, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And of course, when it says four great beasts came up from the sea, it means from among the people. It is using it figuratively. So many people are looking at these and taking it literally, thinking that a beast is going to come up out of the sea. No, it's figurative language to let you get an understanding of what it is, using these things to illustrate. So the sea would mean a sea of people. The four great beasts will rise up from among them. And they were different from one another. All right? We're not going to go through all the verses because for the sake of time, you can do it yourself. But what we want is the characteristics of the beast. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. This was Babylon. The first kingdom, Babylon. This was the one of gold that we just read about in Daniel 2:37 onwards. All right? So the first was lion. And verse 5 says, and behold, another beast, a second like a bear. So the second was a bear. And after this I beheld, lo, a leopard. One like a leopard. So we have to memorize lion, bear, leopard. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast. Now this is Rome. This is Rome. Dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. Remember the kingdom of iron? It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. This is Rome. Diverse because it is a new world order. It stamped the residue and it brake in pieces and it devoured. This is a new world order that is devouring the entire earth. All right? So, what a coincidence now that we see in Revelation 13, we hear of this beast. Okay? We are tracing the beast from Daniel to Revelation. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, the sea referring to people, all right? And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. Now, this is where people go off into trying to look at it as a literal beast. No, it's not a literal beast. It has 7 heads, and we're going to see what those 7 heads are. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, bear, lion. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. All right? We have the Daniel beast right here, all in one. And remember, in Daniel, there were these 3 beasts, leopard, lion, and bear, but there was another beast, and this is the beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns, because it is a new world order where the entire characteristics of these kingdoms are all together in one in the 4th kingdom. Notice the 4th kingdom was not revealed to us as being a particular animal, because it has all the characteristics joined up together. And here it says the beast was like unto a leopard. So the body was like a leopard. His feet were like a bear, and his mouth as a mouth of a lion, which means it's combined of all the previous kingdoms together in one. All right? So, and I saw one of his head, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So What we're witnessing today is a re-rising of the Roman Empire. Deadly wound was healed when Rome was ruling for how many hundreds of years. And then Rome seemed to have relinquished the leadership of the world. But they had not. They were still ruling in the background. But now they have combined all the powers of the world together in a new world order. And the deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. All right? Wondered after the beast. Everyone obeyed and they marveled and they exalted the beast. All right? The world exalted the beast. And let's see what the beast is as we go on. And it says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So they worshiped Satan. They worshiped Satan. Almost the whole world is worshiping Satan. All right? And when we see the second beast, we're going to see how the world is worshiping Satan ignorantly, most of them not knowing that they are worshiping the devil in false religion. All right? So they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. All right? And this worship again is, we're going to see in Revelation 17, it tells you that the woman sits upon the beast. So they worship the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? And this again in Revelation 13, when it says the beast was worshipped. We tell you that worship does not mean bowing down and worshiping as we think. This is it. Who is like unto the beast? When you say no one can defeat, who is able to make war with him? That is worship of the beast. You don't have to bow down to worship him. All you have to do is exalt him. And then you would have worshipped the beast. Yes? So those who take the mark of the beast, there will also be those who worship the beast and his image. These are those who are going to be sealed in their foreheads because they worship the beast by exalting the beast. All right? And the beast is the driving force behind NATO. And right now, NATO is involved with altercations with Russia. And what are people saying? Oh, Russia cannot beat NATO. What you're actually saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? All right? When we see what the beast is, we will see right up front in NATO, the beast is right up there. All right? So, yeah, so we were saying that to worship the beast, just incidentally, let's just show how simple it is to worship the beast. In Matthew 15, it was telling us about the woman that came to the Messiah. And the Messiah said in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Master, help me. The Bible considers you seeking help from someone as the only source of your help. It considers that worship. This is worship. She worshiping, saying, Master, help me. She not bow down and worship him and everything. She just said something. Yes? That's how simple worship is in scripture. So when you see they worship the beast, people are talking about worshiping the image of the beast. People are thinking that you are actually bowing down to an image of the beast. No. All right? Worship is very, very simple. All right? So let's continue. Yeah, so we're going to zero in more now on the second beast. All right? Zeroing on the second beast. And in zeroing on the second beast, we have to understand how Hasatan works. He works with the kingdoms and worship. Two things are married together, the kingdoms and worship. And that is what is in Revelation 13. The first beast represents the kingdoms, and the second beast represents worship. By marrying both together, that is how Satan controls the world. All right? And we see it here in Matthew 4:8-9 when he tempted the Messiah. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the splendor of them, and said unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. See? The kingdoms of the world, that is the wealth, married with worship. So, you cannot be given the kingdoms of the world unless you fall down and worship Hasatan. This is it. So, the two beasts of Revelation 13, the kingdoms of the world, the first beast, and worship the second beast. But verse 10 says, Then said Yahusha unto him, Get thee hence, Hasatan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship Yahuwah thy Elohim, and him only shalt thou serve. And this is how we reject the beast system. When they come with their mark, we say, It is written, Yahuwah alone shall get worship, and him only shalt thou serve. We do not worship the beast, nor take his mark. All right? We are willing to suffer rather than to do so. And in the book of Revelation 17 now, it marries both of them again. The same thing that we are doing here is done in Revelation 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the rock into the wilderness, and I saw a woman. Woman is a religious body, religious power, sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. So we know the beast is scarlet, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So what did we say previously? We said it is worship and the kingdoms of the earth. Woman is there for worship, and the scarlet-colored beast is the kingdom of the earth, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And we're going to emphasize the 7 heads. That's what we're going to show up today. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And we know the cardinals wear scarlet in the Roman Catholic Church, and the bishops wear purple. Or is it the other way around? I think I have it right. All right? So, and they are decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, and in their worship, they also have this golden cup that they're putting up as well. This woman is Christianity led by the Catholics, all right? And upon her head was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. This is Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. She is the one who gives worship to Satan. That's why we said they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the dragon through the dragon's false religion. Yes, you may want to check out our article on justaword.org, Who is God? All right? Who is God? And 2 Corinthians 4:4 tells you about the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which do not believe. I'm paraphrasing. So that the splendid light of the gospel of the good news cannot shine through unto them. So Satan is the God of this world. And in Isaiah 14, it tells us how Satan says he wants to be like the Most High. So we have a copy, imitation of the Alua of Yasharal on this earth called God. And that is through whom Satan gets worshipped in all the earth. All right? And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahusha. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the woman drunken with the blood, we know that through the inquisitions, our people, the saints of the Most High, were slaughtered. The martyrs of Yahusha were slaughtered by this woman, this great organization called the church. All right? And it says, I saw a woman, most importantly, sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. Now, what does it mean to sit upon a beast? To sit upon a beast, when you sit upon a horse, you direct the horse, you determine how fast the horse goes, which direction in which the horse goes. You actually control the horse. And we are going to see further on when we reveal the beast, the first beast, we're going to see how the woman sits upon the scarlet-colored beast. Stay with us for it all. Might sound strange, but it is actually true. All right? Believe it or not. So, how do we know the second beast to be true? Let's get a confirmation from Revelation 13, verse 18. This is the second beast. Verse 18 says, Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and 6. So the clue for the beast is given here for the second beast. And it says it is the number of a man. A man. So it is surrounding a man. And it says his number is 603 score and 6. And if you go into the Greek, 603 score and 6 is the Greek he, the stigma, which equates to Christ on a cross. So when you see the Catholics going through, they have a man before them on a cross in their processions. That is the number of a man. That is Christ on a cross. That is how you know the second beast. Okay? All right, so let's go to Revelation 17:9 because there is a very interesting word that is very, very grossly misunderstood. So many people misunderstand this word. And we misunderstood it as well until the Most High revealed the understanding. And this word is mountain. We have people all over the world now looking to find the beast by looking on a city that sits on 7 hills. And, when you look at it, that's ridiculous. It says 7 mountains. It didn't say 7 hills. And when you check Wikipedia, there is a list on Wikipedia of countries that sit on 7 hills. You know how many I have counted, and I might be wrong, in slightly off, because I did it quickly. 94 different cities or towns that claim to be built on 7 hills. That shows us that to be looking for a city that is built on 7 mountains, 7 hills, that's not so wise. All right? But we're going to look at mountains. All right, so when being told about the 7 heads, verse 9 says, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Now, whenever we see here is wisdom, or here is the mind which hath wisdom, what do we think? Do we think it is going to be plain and straight as it is? No, it's telling you that you have to be wise and you have to search to find it. Yes? It's the same thing with Revelation 13:18. When it says, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, and it is the number of a man. It means that it is not going to be as plain and simple as you see it. So people are there looking for 666, 666 beast. This is the 666 beast. And not understanding that it says wisdom. So when it says wisdom, it is not going to be ABC as you see it. So it says the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. So the woman is sitting on 7 mountains, not literal mountains, people. So let's go to the meaning of mountains. The meaning of mountains there is from the Greek oros, from an obsolete word to rise or rear, perhaps akin to compare a mountain as lifting itself above the plain, hill, mountain. See it? As lifting itself above the plain. This mountain is figurative. It is speaking of 7 exalted kingdoms. Remember we said the first beast is about the kingdom and the second is about worship. So the 7 heads is about kingdom. These are 7 exalted kingdoms upon the face of this earth. And we know kingdoms today are manifested as countries. These are 7 exalted countries. And let's look at the use of the term mountain figuratively to let us understand what I am actually saying. So in Isaiah 40 verse 4, when it says, every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the splendor of Yahuwah shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see together, for the mouth of Yahuwah hath spoken it. It is not speaking about literal valley being exalted. It's speaking at those who are low, the humble, those who are the least on this earth shall be exalted. And all the exalted on this earth, every exalted nation, kingdom, and country, big and small, shall be made low. That's what it means. Yeah? To illustrate what I'm saying here, Ecclesiasticus 10, verse 15. Sirach 10, verse 15. Yahuwah hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. This is what Isaiah 40 verse 4 is actually saying. He had plucked up the roots of the proud nations, the exalted nations, and planted the lowly in their place. So this is the valley, the lowly being exalted, and the mountains being made low. Got it? So in Isaiah 2 verse 2, when it says this, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahuwah's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. What do we think this means? Do we think that a literal mountain? It is saying the mountain of Yahuwah's house, which means Yahuwah's house will be exalted above all the nations of this earth, all the powerful nations of the earth. Zion shall be exalted above them, and shall be exalted above the hills, all the countries of the earth, because you have the exalted countries of the earth, which are the mountains, and you have also lands, the other nations. All right, Zion shall be exalted above all, and all nations shall flow unto Zion. Zion shall be the headquarters, shall be the center, the core of the earth, and the core of the operations of the earth. That's what this is saying. All right? So, the mountain, the 7 heads, there are 7 nations that are exalted above the earth, exalted above the hills, exalted above the valleys, exalted above all other nations upon the face of the earth. These are the 7 heads of the beast. This beast is the first beast of the book of Revelation, and these are the G7 nations. And let's look at the G7. Yes, so the G7 nations are the exalted nations. We're going to see the mountain on which G7 is. We're going to see how they are exalted and why the G7 nations are the 7 heads of the beast, of the first beast of the book of Revelation. Because we were just telling you about mountain. Mountain means lifted up above the plain. These are 7 nations that are lifted up above the rest of the nations. And we're going to show why the G7 nations are the 7 heads, the beast of 7 heads, the first beast of Revelation 13, the kingdoms of the earth, the exalted above the kingdoms of the earth. And how are they exalted? Remember, the woman sits upon the mountains. How are these mountains? And we go to the G7. Just do a search of G7 and you'll see something like this, which shows you that they are exalted. The G7 group of 7 is an organization of the world's 7 largest so-called advanced economies. That already, this is the mountain. They are exalted as the 7 largest so-called advanced economies. And here is even more how they are exalted, which dominate global trade and the international financial system. That is how they are exalted. That is the mountain. Yes? The woman sits upon the mountain. These are the exalted nations that dominate the earth, that dictate the direction in which the world is going, that is dictating today everything that is happening on this earth, that gave us the major companies came out of these nations. 3 out of the United States, one of them in association with Germany, and another one came out of the UK. These are, you cannot know the mark of the beast unless you know the beast. And this is the beast, the first beast, okay? Exalted above the other nations. All right? And it says the second beast sits upon this beast. Second beast sits upon it. And we say the second beast is Christianity led by the Catholics. And how does the woman, how does this second beast sit upon the first beast? Remember, we said from Matthew 4:8-9, it showed us that, And in Revelation 17:3-5, it showed us that there is a correlation, a cooperation, the religion sitting upon the kingdoms and ruling them.
It's the same revolution. It's the same players, in fact. The Great Reset was indeed hatched in a catacomb beneath the streets of Rome at the close of the Second Vatican Council in 1965. And it just took a while to get to the point politically where it is now. But it's the same movement.
And we are going to see, when you do a search of 6 of the 7 nations, we are going to see that all of them are Christian countries. All of them dominated by Christianity, most by Catholicism, others by Protestantism. And Christianity is the main religion in all these nations. And Christianity played a great role in establishing them and empowering these nations. All right? G7 nations. Let's look at the religious history. Right. In a 2001 study, Canada, 43.2% Roman Catholics, 29.2% Protestants. That's a vast majority of their population are Christians. Le Bleu, Le France, in 2019, 41% Roman Catholic, 6% other Christians. That's 47% Christians. Vast majority of France. And remember, many of these countries have many atheists and are very secular. So when you see like 47% being Christians, a huge percent are non-believers, because in France, the next religion there is Islam, which is 5%. That's how this woman dominates and sits upon these nations. In Germany, Roman Catholics 26.7%, Protestant 24.3%. Already they're at around 50%. In Italy, the Roman Catholics 78.9%, Protestants or other Christians 6.7%. That's a huge majority. The only nation among them that Christianity is a minority is Japan. Japan has mostly Shinto and Buddhists. Christian only 1%. All right? But Japan is the exception. Japan just fits in with this Psalm 83 group. They just fit in. But the rest of them, the Edomites, the children of Edom, 6 out of 7 are the children of Edom. These are the Christians. In 2018, United Kingdom, very, very high percentage of people there are actually atheists. I think about 50%. Yeah, atheists. But Roman Catholics were 7% and other Christians 31%, to make it 38%. That's the vast majority of any other religion. Other religions are barely there. Most of the people there are what you may call atheists or unbelievers. 2001 United States, Roman Catholics 24.5%, other Christians 42.5%. As you see, this is the woman, Christianity, that sits upon this beast. Christianity sits on this beast, leading the beast through the false religion, and has led, if you check out the history of America is based on Christianity and on the founding fathers that they say came, Plymouth Rock, etc. Christianity. Yes? When they came and they conquered here, they used Christianity. Columbus came, Christianity. In South America, Christianity. That's what they used to conquer. Yes? This is the woman that sits upon the scarlet-colored beast. And speaking of scarlet color, if you check out the color of all these nations, if you check out the color, it is scarlet. Scarlet. What? There are so many shades of red. And yet still this G7 nations, all of their flags are the same color. Germany has a slightly darker shade of scarlet than the rest, but the rest are basically the same shade. All right? This is the scarlet colored beast that the woman sits upon. So that's how you know the mark of the beast. The G7 nations, they gave us the mark of the beast through that they stick in your arm. They are now giving us war, leading NATO. They are now promising us food shortage, which is the third seal. The G7 nation is the beast of 7 heads. Knowing the beast, you'll know what the mark is, and you will know what the mark of the beast is. The G7 nations, the first beast of Revelation. Christianity, led by the Catholics, the second beast. Those are your 2 beasts of the book of Revelation. Hope you enjoyed this, and hope it brought some light to you. This is Khazar Aliyahu Yasharal here. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe if you have not. Please share, do share our videos so the word can go around. These are very powerful words for the end times. Please let them go around, please, so people can open up their eyes and be not deceived by the beast. All right? So, until next time, shalom.